So this is a pair of sneakers I've liked since the initial leaks. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Sneaker Circle. It's your boy Danny back with another review. In today's review, I am looking at the summer of '96. This is a Air Jordan 1, and it's a three-part collaboration. So between Union, Air Jordan, and then Bephies Beauty Supply. And I'm super glad these actually touched down, because for a second there, I thought FedEx had, decided to keep these for themselves. You know what I mean. That final FedEx boss, I didn't think I beat it.
Police! Help! Police!
But it all updated under a day. It all came literally this morning, and here we have the summer of '96. Now, we all know Union. If you're in the sneaker world, or if you're new to the sneaker world, Union is probably one of the better brands that has collaborated with Air Jordan. I guess they've had more creativity, especially in the early beginnings of it, back in like 2018 with the Air Jordan 1s. And this year we have a joint collaboration between Union and Bephies Beauty Supply. So just take a look at them. And ladies and gentlemen, these are the Air Jordan 1s, summer of '96. Crazy concept of a sneaker, really nice in hand and to look at, but these did stir up a lot of people's opinions. So let's get these out the box and let's get straight into the review. So before I get into the sneakers themselves, I always like to appreciate a nice box, and I love what they did with these. So front of the box, here is the label for those interested in that detail. It has a crazy amount of imagery throughout. So the wrapping paper is inspired by like the front facing of an apartment complex. I will have like a layout of it and I'll take a photo of it to add in here. We do have the three different brands right there. So we have '96, we have the Jumpman, the Union logo, and the Bephies Beauty Supply logo right there as well. We do have her brand right there, so Bephies Beauty Supply. I'm assuming it's her on this side, and if you don't know, the owner of Union, Chris Gibbs, his wife owns BBS, so it's a nice like collaborative unit there. Air Jordan right here, and a little cool detail here where it's like apartment complex on the bottom half. The top half has two different ones, so the apartment right here, it kind of like feeds into these locks right here, and she kind of like melts into the complex right here. Cool imagery, really cool box. Into the shoes. So first impressions of the sneaker in hand, it is a really nice and like wild sneaker to look at, but I am noticing a bit more width in the toe box. Now, I know I haven't bought a pair of Air Jordan 1s in a while. I know there's been kind of an update to them. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think these 2.0 OG highs have a slightly wider toe box and a slightly different shape when it comes to the top. For more information, you can probably go find Mr. Unloved Ones on Twitter. He usually, I think he has a whole thread dedicated to it. It's how I found out initially, because I just stopped buying Air Jordan 1s, or at least recent Air Jordan 1s. I've been focused on collecting things I didn't really have, like shattered backboards. So taking a look at the details, the split stitch right here is pretty significant in Union. The first Air Jordan 1 high collabs they had that feature, and it was like defining, it like pushed the whole story of the sneaker forward. Back then it was for those it was more of, you wear your Air Jordan 1 so much that you had to replace the top, which is why they were stitched two different Air Jordan 1s. This is consistent neutral gray throughout, so neutral gray ones usually have that gray upper right here. But I really like that blue teal, and then you get the Union logo right here, and then at the back you get BBS, which I'm glad both logos were incorporated. It would have been interesting to see if instead of LA right here, it was just Union and then BBS, but it probably would have thrown like the character count off. And the most glaring detail would be this whole weave. Now, if you didn't grow up liking sneakers, I started like in 2007, so footscapes were in for me, and they really had a chokehold on a lot of people. I think the concept and detail of footscapes super dope, and I love seeing them on an Air Jordan 1. Kind of like when we see, it does make me wonder though, like with this sneaker, building it, I wonder how like the material looks laid out flat, because you can see how the weave goes under right here. It's like under the swoosh, so you see the stitching on the swoosh just kind of overlapping the stitching from the weave. It's pretty cool, and I'm gonna have a guess out here because I've owned footscapes in the past. They're pretty breathable, especially in the areas where the weave exists. So I'm wondering if no, so I'm back here right now. There is that cotton liner. So I mean, that's blocking it, that's supporting it. So it's not like the structure of the shoe is gonna flop around. It's still gonna stay pretty structured. And then let's take a look at the Wings logo, oversized like the original ones. Now, in a second, I'm gonna bring out the original ones because I do have them still. And I'm gonna just do do a solid comparison. So the weave, going back to it, just wrapped around that entire sneaker. Super dope. The suede on this is pretty like minuscule, and then the suede here, it feels more like almost like a cotton, because I remember the first one had like a rough, worn in feeling to them, like they were textured. This is just nice and smooth. The tongue as well has that same blue contrast running through it. It's like a teal, almost like a Tiffany, and you have the same color tongue going through. So one thing they did do is they gave us 2 color tone laces. So you have that like off-white at the beginning and then like a gray right here. And then they also gave us this. Apparently this is how all of the shoelaces come now, the extra shoelaces, instead of a plastic bag, which, you know, I dig, but this thing is hard to keep together. So this is that yellow one, and in my opinion, this is something Union should keep consistent between all of their collaborations, because it's a super dope, like, in your face color. Like, I would have loved to have these in my pistachio dunk lows. I don't think I would have used them, but having the option to would have been kind of dope to see. Alright, so extra lace out the way. I guess let's just stick to comparison. So I'm gonna go ahead and set these right here, and I'm gonna go ahead and bring in these right here. So we do have the Union 1 set from 2018, 2023. This is a 5-year difference, so props on the Union for just keeping it up. I'm glad these weren't a perfect copy of these, like it had its own inclusion, and it was like a 3-way brand collaboration, not just Union itself. And it's cool because these all came directly from Union. So I bought these in 2018 off the official release. I remember that release was actually kind of wild. It was like a 2-day release. It wasn't meant to be a 2-day release, but like day 1, the internet just crashed after a couple orders, so they had to like stop it, restart it the next day. Union was that first brand that did like the whole different website switch, things like that. But it was still using Shopify, so there's still ways around it, but you know, captures and all that. Union really like solidified that into like the mainstream, in my opinion. So day 1, I managed to get these Storm Blues. Have not worn them yet, still saving them for like a special occasion or something. And then these black toes I got the following day, because like I knew I had these, I had confirmation, I had everything, so I'm like, let me go for the color I really wanted. And yes, I've worn these. These have been worn. I love these. I love these so much. Alright, so let's just take a look at the differences. Off the bat, I am seeing that the leather is a little different. Like, I think the older Unions are just a bit softer, but this could be a Jordan thing. It's been 5 years since these two have like released back to back, because we're almost at December, so it's almost 5 years. The leather itself that has been used in these is just different. Maybe they give you like manufactured different. I think they're still at the same level in Nike's eyes or Air Jordan's eyes, where it's like the premium cut of the leather, not like the standard we get in most GRs, but it just doesn't feel as soft. So you grab this and let's compare the interior. Another thing I'm noticing is the size of the swooshes and the placements. I think these had to be moved a little bit higher because of the weave coming through, and I feel like these just have more of like a curve to them. You see how like these cut a little more, while these have more of like that nicer curve. That's the only thing I'm really noticing, and I guess I could talk about that suede detail I was talking about. I think it's easier to see in the other one since it'll be gray on gray. So that being said, let's take a look. And it's weird because like these used and it's weird because the black toes used like a neutral gray and they came out with a neutral gray. I thought we would have seen like a different color. So this is what I mean. Feel wise, they feel almost the same. You just have the texture here, but like in terms of softness, they're about the same. So no big changes there. And looking at it now, height seems to be the same, but there is more of a difference. So if you look at the Union ones, are like older Air Jordans, it has more of this like V that connects here, while these have more of like a U. So I guess it's meant to like wrap around your foot a little bit better. I'm wondering, it even looks a little bit wider here, but I wonder if that's more of like because of the weave. Maybe if I get my hands on a pair of Palavinos. For under retail, I can really compare, but for now, I'm gonna associate it to the weave itself. Looking at toe boxes, I do think these just are a little bit wider, so that's gonna be nicer on my little toes. All in all, I think PBS and Union did a great job on these. Great job. Alright, so I think I've been talking long enough. I'm just gonna go straight into the on feet portion of it. If you made it this far, thank you for tuning in, thank you for checking me out. Feel free to, leave a comment, tell me what you think about these, tell me your experience, tell me if you've ever lost a pair of sneakers to FedEx, UPS, or USPS. or DHL skate if you're from overseas, or locally too, or laser shift. Don't even talk about laser shift. Everyone loses to laser shift. Laser shift, not to learn Nike. Alright, so let's just get straight into the on-feet portion. See you guys in the next video.